Hello and welcome back. I'm that Jack girl. And guys, we made it to the second week, day 8 of our summer savings finance journey. In week 1, we talked about a lot about our strategy. What's our strategy to figure out what debts we have to repay? What's our strategy in determining the days that we have to make those payments? What's our strategy in making sure that we are saving? We're not just paying off debts, but we are, creating a savings plan, an emergency savings plan. We're talking about the different checking accounts, separating the funds between accounts, a smart plan. We're making sure that the plan that we're creating is sustainable to make sure that we're comfortable with making those extra payments. We also talked about comparing your insurance rates, the insurance rates for your home, for rental properties, for your car. We talked about the impact of your insurance going up, and also too what to do with those extra savings if you compare shop your insurance companies. You move to a different insurance companies. Now you have a little extra money in your pocket. What do you do with that money? So we talked about all of that in week 1. Week 2, we're going to talk about actually saving. We're going to talk about unplugging items, your electrical items, when you're not using them. We're also going to talk about your subscriptions. How many subscriptions do you have that you're no longer using? Magazines that you're no longer interested in? Items that you subscribe to for your kids, and your kids are grown up now and you no longer need those items. Subscriptions for yourself. When was the last time that you took a look at your bank statement, your credit card statements, to try and determine how much you're paying that's automatically being charged to you every 6 months, once a year, once every 12 months, and you had no idea. All you know is that this magazine pops up in the mail, or a monthly subscription for like a book club that you're in. You have no idea. So let me read something to you. And again, this is from CNBC. Auditing your subscriptions. One of the easiest ways to lower your monthly expenses is to cut out any subscriptions you're not paying for, but not actually using. Take a look at your credit card statements for the past 12 months. Are there any recurring payments you no longer need, right? If so, take a few minutes to cancel. I'm a real proponent of, sometimes you can Google a phone number and the company that you're calling is the actual company. But there's so much fraud now that goes on these days, and so many, duplicate websites that are created. And you call and you Google these numbers, you call these companies, and you think that you're actually talking to the company that you're subscribing with, when in fact you could be talking to a fraudster. So I would say, one, make sure that the most recent email that you received, with the subscription, typically every subscription, they'll send you like a subscription reminder. And with that reminder, it will give you information as to how to contact them. Call that number. If you look at the magazine, for instance, that you're subscribing to, and that magazine on the front cover and the back cover, somewhere in the middle, or even on the little subscription card, it will give a phone number or a valid email address or a web address that you can go to so that you can cancel that subscription. But just make sure that you're not blindly Googling a number, putting it into like another search engine, to try to figure out a phone number to contact them, because oftentimes it may be a fraudster on the other end. And you don't want to give your specific personal information, your debit card or credit card information, and now you have a bigger problem. So just kind of make sure that the phone number that you're calling has been verified. And let me continue. Don't forget to look out for subscriptions that renew annually rather than monthly as well, right? So just as we mentioned, make sure that you're going through all of your credit card statements, bank accounts. If you have multiple bank accounts, just make sure that you're going over those to see if there's any of those subscriptions that you want to cancel. Now, another important thing, just make sure that when you cancel, that you're making a copy of like a confirmation number, or if you have to call to cancel, someone that you spoke with, and see if they can give you like a confirmation reference number, Because if you need to later dispute that with your bank, 9 chances out of 10, your bank is going to ask you, did you contact the company directly? If so, what did they say? And if they did say that they would cancel it, do you have a confirmation number? So that confirmation number is always something that you can kind of reference back to say, you actually spoke with someone at this particular company. Now, when we talk about unplugging, this may seem a little weird to some of you, I must admit, but let me just read something to you. So, unplugging. What does that mean? Lowering your energy cost by unplugging cords and turning off appliances and devices when not in use. Leaving devices on standby power can add 5 to 10% to your energy bill. Now, don't just take, my ratio that I'm reading from a website. Maybe pick up the phone and call your energy company. Verify this with your energy company. Ask them the question. If I'm not using my computer by leaving it plugged up, am I still being charged for that electricity? Air conditioning. It's in the summertime now. Sometimes we need a little extra kick to, the central air or the air that we're getting. If you leave that air conditioning unit plugged up, ask your electricity company, are you paying for that electricity even though the item or the appliance isn't on? If you leave it plugged up, are you still paying for it? Now, of course, there's some, appliances and things in your home that it doesn't make sense to unplug them. You don't want to unplug, like your cooking appliances and things like that, or maybe hard to reach appliances. You don't want to cause yourself any danger or put yourself in any danger by unplugging or plugging up these items. And you want to make sure that the plug, you're not stressing out the outlet, by constantly plugging and unplugging. I'm talking about those things that, like your laptop. If you only use your laptop once or twice a month, when you're not using it, unplug it, as an example. Just make sure that you're staying safe. Again, call your utility company and give them some examples. Also, too, if you're purchasing new appliances, sometimes those appliances will tell you right on the label, if you leave this, plugged up, how much electricity, wattage, or whatever the case, how much is using the sales sticker or something, it will have, an indication of how much electricity you're using by purchasing this appliance. But I would say the best course of action, just to verify that we're making sure that we're doing the right thing, call your utility company and ask them their opinion. Tell them what it is that you're looking to keep plugged up or unplug, to see what advice they'd be able to offer you. I think that's probably the best bet. But thank you so much for watching to the end as always. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.